Hi everyone. So this is going to be your mid-September reading for Libra. This will be from 15th through the 30th of September. The energies are changing so fast these days. I felt like it was necessary, and I have some different cards that I want to pull up. And so, again, this is for Libra, mid-month. I am Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. And I'm going to pull 4 or 5 regular tarot cards just to see what the energy for the mid to the end of September is. And then I'll pull, I think I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot Heart cards by John Holland for one. I haven't used those for a while. And, okay, there's one. So let's see what, oh, and I also have some mixed emotions cards that I recently got. And I want to see how, crooked here, see how those work out. So hope everybody's doing okay. And I appreciate you watching. So subscribe and like and share if any of this means anything to you. Make a comment, please, and thank you for watching. Let's see. Okay, I need some cards here for Libra. There's 2. Middle of the month to the end of September. There's another one. Man, Libra. It looks like it might be a torturous month. End of the month. Second half of the month. What's going on? There. Okay. Let's see. So the first one, some of these came up in reverse. The Queen of Cups came up in reverse. So emotion, well, I guess emotion, well, okay. So emotion-wise, you might be feeling a lot of emotions, and it's all dumping out of your cup, which means that you're probably purging and perhaps crying a lot. That can be a good or a bad thing. It depends on what you're crying about. I don't know about you, but after I have a really, really good cry, I always feel a lot better. There have been times when I knew that I needed to have a really, really good cry. And I needed to get it out of my system, and I have a few friends in my life that I can call, and they can almost hear in my voice when something is wrong, and they can say, "What's the matter?" And that question of what's the matter will just ensue in a bunch of tears. I can remember talking to my friend Jennifer one time, this is a handful of years ago, sitting in the CVS parking lot and calling her, knowing something was wrong and everything was bubbling up, and calling her on the phone and sitting in the CVS parking lot bawling my head off because I just needed to have a really good cry. Something was bothering me. Okay, so that brings me to the next point. Your emotions are trying to tell you something. If you are on the verge of crying a lot, if you are cranky, if you are whatever, it's kind of like your oversoul or your higher self is trying to tell you something. So if you're depressed, if you're anything but in a good mood, generally those emotions are there to give you warning signals. A lot of people like to ignore those warning signals and keep moving on throughout the day, and that's not good. So it's, pay attention to that. If there's something not going on in your life that's right, if you're having those weird emotions. And I can remember a guy that I dated a few years ago, I was kind of in that situation. I was crying a lot, and I was depressed, and I knew something in my life wasn't right. I wasn't quite sure what it was. It's like when things aren't right and you don't know exactly how to figure it out, you start moving around puzzle pieces, or at least I do. do I need to, add more of this or subtract more of this or this or this or whatever? And I can remember having a conversation with him and saying, something's not right, and I think seeing you is not right anymore, and I need to, not in so many words, but make you go away. and he's like, his answer to that was that I had too much time on my hands and was to find me another job because my problem had become his problem. So that was funny. That just reminds me of one of those times when I knew something was off. I could tell by my emotions something was off, but I didn't know what it was. So I had to start moving some of the stuff around to figure out what needed to be added and what needed to be subtracted. And he was one of the ones that got subtracted, and he didn't like that very well. So the Five of Swords was in reverse. So normally the Five of Swords just means that you're kind of in a stuck position. Perhaps this good cry that you're getting ready to have is going to help get you unstuck, which goes kind of right along with the story that I just told. Because it's upside down. So you're unsticking whatever's been bothering you. What's up your crawl, people? What's eating Gilbert Grape? So the next one says Six of Pentacles, and it was also in reverse. So it looks like normally that would be he's giving a handout and helping the people. Either you are in the position of you're needing a handout or you're the person that's giving the handout. So it could be either way. You're either getting a handout or giving a handout, because either in the reverse or in the upright, it's gonna it means one or the other of those. The Eight of Swords energy, and it was in the upright, just basically means that you are tied up in a lot of your thoughts. So you're up in your head a lot. Which probably goes along with the big cry that you're probably going to have this month. Is something's bothering you. You either have a decision to make, or your emotions are letting you know that something's not right. Perhaps it is your work situation, and you're not happy at work, and so your emotions or your thoughts are bugging you, trying to maybe get you to do something about it. Maybe you need to quit that job. Maybe you need to stand up for yourself. Whatever the case is, that big emotional cry that you probably are in the process of getting ready to have has to do with those thoughts that are poking at you. And then the Six of Cups at the end, I always look at the Six of Cups as new love, because it is a boy handing a little girl some flowers. It's a happy picture, and it to me is a very immature love. So that to me just says that there's some new love coming, or something new is coming in. Could be a new relationship, romance. It could be a new job or something like that, but whatever the case, that is good. Because this whole first thing with the overall energy of the tarot, I'm going to use the mixed emotions cards, because obviously there's a lot of emotions involved, and maybe these will help us discover what exactly is at the root of the meltdown. There's a couple of cards that's popped out. Because at the root of every meltdown is something. And sometimes you know what it is, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's you're out of balance. You've been working too hard and you need some playtime. Sometimes it's, family members asking more from you than you have got the energy to give, and you just, it's hard telling. So let's just see what these mixed emotions say as far as what could be at the core of this very emotional second half of the month. Maybe it's something good. Who knows? Maybe it's releasing relief. Well, I was done with those anyway. So, oh my gosh. I just said relief, right? Relieved. That was that was the first card that popped out. Reassured, soothed, at ease. And I think I said relieved because I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm not crying about something bad at the end of this month because I'm a Libra. So I can see that I would be relieved about something and it would make me cry happy tears. The other one is bored, uninterested, apathetic, and jaded. So perhaps you're bored at work. Maybe that's what it is. That emotion is coming is like you're bored, you're apathetic, and you're upset because you want more fulfillment out of your life than whatever's going on. Or it could be a relationship that you're bored in. If it's something that can be fixed, you ought to be able to add some spice into, if it's a relationship or if you're, with your job. And for some reason, the first thing that pops into mind is when I sold real estate, one of the things that I did a lot is I liked to cook and I liked to bake. So that was kind of a hobby of mine. And I used to cook a lot and I would take into the office and let everybody eat on it. And that was very joyful for me. So if you have a job that you cannot get away from and that is boring, maybe you do something outside of work that's part of your hobby and bring it to work with you and show off. Or if you can, I'm not saying that everybody can do something like that, but the next card that came up was inspired. Moved, stimulated, challenged. I suppose that could make somebody cry. And very emotional is if your heart chakra is open and things are moving forward. And it also shows loving, devoted, affectionate, and tender as another emotion that you're going to be feeling the second half of September. So that's kind of on the emotional front. Let's see what we got on the Psychic Tarot for the heart. John Holland's Heart Tarot. I don't know. Is it pronounced tarot or tarot? I hear it both ways. And this would be more in the relationship arena for those of you that are either dating, perhaps married. Let's see. Get a few of these out here. Yep. Sacral chakra and dedicated effort so far. That kind of goes along with what we were just talking about if you're bored, making a dedicated effort and getting out of that place of boredom. Because only you can add interest to your life. You realize that. And another person is generally not the person that's going to do that. So don't expect another person to be the one to solve all of your problems. If you're bored with something, get on Meetup, join a Meetup group and find a group of women. I have a book club. It starts again next Tuesday night. I started that first of the summer because I was bored. I didn't have much of a social life and I was looking to meet some girlfriends that was interested in stuff that I was. So I started a book club on Meetup. We talked about Brene Brown and I have made some really good friends out of that. In fact, I had lunch with one of them yesterday. So make a dedicated effort in getting out of that bored spot or whatever emotional situation that you have found yourself in. I need one more card here. So this says, we talked about the dedicated effort. The sacral chakra is something that's, I think, creativity. Let me see. I'm going to look that up real quick. Sacral chakra. It is Known as the sacral chakra, the second chakra is located 2 fingers below your navel and relates to emotions, desires, creativity, and sexuality. To activate this chakra, visualize a glowing orange ball of energy in your belly area. See it spinning and sparkling. Feel joy as it grows larger and sends orange sparks out into the universe. By energizing the sacral chakra, you attract creativity, joy, passion, and love into your life. This exercise can be used to energize any chakra simply by visualizing the appropriate color energy. Everything seems to be about revitalizing whatever is. It just sounds like you're bored. Because the next card that came up was new vitality. So it sounds like if you just work on some of the stuff I'm giving you advice on, or the cards are giving you advice on, you're going to kind of come out of that like apathetic whatever and work towards your dreams coming true. So I think that is it. How we've got 15 minutes. I'm going to do romance angels real quick. Yeah, now I'm going to do the sacred geometry. I'm going to do that. There's some romance going on here, but most of this feels like emotional energy, boredom, and getting yourself out of that and doing whatever you need to do to get out of that. Blah. I'm bored with my life. I'm bored with my job. I'm bored with my boyfriend. I'm bored in the house that I live in. Maybe you need to redecorate, whatever. I personally get bored easy. I know that about myself. So it's a fine line between making sure you have enough on your plate to keep your mind and your body active and making sure you have enough downtime. And as a single person, I didn't have kids or a husband or anything like that kept me crazy busy like a lot of people did. So you could say I'm an expert of making sure I get out of boredom. I just had this conversation with the gal that I had lunch with yesterday because she works from home, and she's like, God, I'm so glad you called. I needed to get out of the house. It's driving me crazy. And she's like, I'm trying to get out and meet people, and I'm spending too much time alone. And I said, I totally get it. It is work to make sure that you keep balance in your life regardless. All right, I need some of these cards. There's one. Let's pop that out there. That's probably why I've also had so many different jobs in my life, little side jobs, because I get bored easy and I like to have a variety. So I pet sit, house sit, sell essential oils, do past life readings, do tarot card readings, do book clubs. I'm a Jill of all trades, as they say, and a lot of that had to do with, one, I was trying to pay the bills, but two, I like to be active and have things going on, and it makes my life interesting and maybe me a more interesting person. Who knows? All right, let's see what these have to say. Communication. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. I feel like this has to do with either a relationship or your work. There's some communication that needs to take place. If there's dissatisfaction on your end, it's because you haven't spoken up to tell whoever might be helping cause that what the problem is. So open your mouth and talk to that person or your boss or whatever about what's bothering you. And if you do it the right way, it's going to go fine. Don't accuse anybody of anything and say you did this and you did that, because that's not going to go well. But the other one is prosperity. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. I was just getting ready to say, prosperity is not only about money. You can be prosperous in emotional, in physical and wealth and health and all of that wellness that makes your spirit sing. It's not just money that is prosperous. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. And the last one says passion. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. So that is what is going on the second half of September for you Libras. If you have any questions, shoot me a message at jojoleanne, jojoleanne @gmail.com. If you want a reading, send me a message, like, subscribe, share, and thank you for being here. And I enjoy any comments that you want to tell me. So everybody have a great rest of the month, and I will see you in October.